This building is the heart of the university. It was the first building that was built on this particular location. It is of a construction material that it should be kept, but also to this day and age, aside from wanting to have a historical root, it is still a very usable building and will be so for many, many years to come.
So we have a 200-year history, but we started out as a high school, and we actually used to be located on the corner of Barrington, and then we used to be located on Tower Road over here, and then we eventually settled down here.
When I was at the high school, our classrooms were 3 classrooms on the 3rd floor of that building, of the south wing, they would call that. And there were only 100 of us in the high school.
Well, I think McNally is center to that school. It's no matter what other wonderful buildings they built there, it will always be around McNally. And McNally is certainly to the people that went through St. Mary's in my era is St. Mary's. It's the core, it's the center, it's what St. Mary's is all about, and I'm particularly pleased that they recognize that, and they are going to ensure that McNally continues for generations to come. It's very pleasing to me.
This university was a Jesuit school, and where we are today was a church. But this building has been utilized for a different purpose now, and is probably one of the better examples of what the university has been able to do with existing facilities. It is just a magnificent, extremely well-used building, not only by the university, but by the community at large.
When I started back in 1999-2000, we put together a plan of everything that needed to be done in the buildings, and then that grew into dreams through our master plan and what the campus would look like. And there are some things that we're doing on this McNally building that I thought we'd never, ever, ever do. I could just not see us finding the money to do that.
So the McNally NCI, which is the North Campus Infrastructure Project, which the project we're talking about now, is about a $26 million project with about $22 million funded through the Economic Action Plan, and the other money from our related projects which weren't under the auspice of that. And it is a 24-month project. It's required a huge amount of work, planning, coordination, design work, people moving out for 6 months, moving back for 6 months, relocation, people very quickly having input into what their workspace should look like in their design, getting into designs. So it's 24 months, it's a fast turnaround.
Well, the KIP funding is infrastructure money, so it was targeted towards the McNally building because that was the building that had never been upgraded. So it needed upgrades to the sprinkler system, it needed upgrades to the electrical system, it needed those basic infrastructure upgrades. So anything else that you see is the result of adding that infrastructure. It's probably our biggest challenge because our construction schedules don't lend themselves to the university school year, so we have to try and move people out of sections, but we have to wait until it's a break in the school year. It has to be September, it has to be December, it has to be between terms. So we have to try and either make our construction faster or slower, depending on what we have to get done in a given amount of time.
As it's starting to get finished, as phases are starting to get done, people are starting to realize what it can be and what it will become. And when you can see what's going to come out of the construction, you start to become a lot more patient with the construction because you realize what's going to come out of it is going to be something that's really great.
Since I've come here, we have invested close to $140 million in the campus, and we have touched every building and changed the look of every building, as well as touched the campus itself and where you walk, where you study, where you go to class, your office, everything has been changed. Where you live, and fabulous changes. Unbelievable how good they are.
It's hard to believe this is the same building. When I started 10 years ago, the room where we're sitting now was a closet, and it was filled with things that was at least 50 and 60 years old. And now what we've turned that basement storage room into is modern day lab where I can develop new radiation detectors for nuclear physics experiments in Germany and in the United States, all done in what used to be what we called the dungeon. It was a cinder block basement, and now it's fantastic.
I think with this final stage of the renovations done, I don't know that there's any other university that could say that within the last 5 years, every major piece of infrastructure in the science faculty has been completely renovated.
The environment makes a huge difference. When you go into a building, it's fresh and clean and designed for the type of work you're going to do, whether it's collaborative team rooms or whether it's a technologically current classroom that has screens up there that faculty member can bring in different parts of the internet and show it on there. I think it makes the process of learning pleasurable, so it's one less block in internalizing information.
We actually have had a few students come in or for tours, and a few tour guides have commented that students think that the campus is brand new and think that the school can't be very old because of all the renovations that are going on. So apparently it's working.
It could be in a brand new building, complete new building, but we have I think we've matched nicely the old and the new, the traditional and the modern, the things that people need and expect.
It's nice too,
They're very good at that at St. Mary's. In fact, what they did was they offered us a seat on the steering committee, which it implements and oversees the entire project. So all of the funding, all of the decisions were run through that committee. So the Arts Commons was one of the major things that we supported.
It's nice to see the students fill the spaces that have been created for them. Just little corners where there's been some tables and chairs set up. The students will be there working on projects or getting together for something, and that's really nice to see, because this side of the campus didn't have much communal space for the students before all these renovations and buildings happened.
It makes you want to stay here. I mean, as students, we are at the university a lot. We're studying, we're, living here, going to team meetings, group meetings, all that kind of stuff. And so if you like where you are having to be, I mean, we make our houses and our apartments look really nice, so we want to live in them. If you don't want to live in your school all the time, it's not good for the students. So I think it makes students want to stay around longer, use the facilities we have. And I think that we are taking more advantage of those facilities now that they are nicer and a lot more homier.
It's almost like my second home, my second community, but it's like that for my whole department. Everybody that works in facilities management, this is their pride and joy, and they take a lot of pride in the way things look, what we provide for the students, or we're helping students along into their new life, and we need to make the place really something special.
We also fought strenuously for the addition off the McNally building of the quad, so we now have a lot more green space, and we also were big fans of adding the light into the hallways and getting the professors' offices up to where they needed to be, so that we could meet them, and it didn't seem like we were in a basement.
Well, the major difference is that the lighting's changed, so this is a more user-friendly lighting. It's no longer the old neon, cold and unpleasant to the eyes lighting. Its floor is new, so it's clean. It's much brighter. There are two colored schemes here. I've chosen a baby blue and have been teased for having chosen baby blue for one of my accent walls. But nevertheless, it's a much brighter, much lighter space.
When you're going through any renovation, you're investing in trying to enhance the campus experience here, and I think it's exactly just doing that. If you want to give a little history on McNally, downstairs used to be a gym, where the professor's offices right now used to be a residence. So you're seeing how St. Mary's is constantly evolving.
Room 303. My home base in 1965, my first year at St. Mary's, this was my room. It was a room with 3 people. So there were, on the left was the bunk beds, Stephenville, Newfoundland on the top, Sheet Harbor on the bottom. That was my bed. Right across the way was a single bed, which the football player from Toronto got to have. So now we have a distinguished professor of English sitting here.
McNally building is St. Mary's University. I mean, that's what everybody knows about St. Mary's University, and we've just taken it from 1952 to 2010 without really ruining the character of the building. We've kept the character. People that come back will still know This is their university.
The renovations have given us more pride. It makes us more feel like a unique university. It's a lot cleaner, nicer, but it just shows, we already know that St. Mary's is a great place, but now to outsiders like you, it's showing us that, showing you guys that, yeah, it's a great place and it looks nice, and then there's great things happening inside the walls.